From the beginning of September until December, we spoke every Sunday about the importance for us as Orthodox Christians of receiving Holy Communion regularly, and indeed of the ancient tradition of the Church that we are called to receive communion every week, if not more often indeed. Since the beginning of the year, we speak instead of how it is then that we should prepare, because we know that this idea of preparation is for many or most of us the reason that we do not come to receive. We have heard it said that in order to receive communion, you must say certain prayers. You must fast as though it were Great Lent for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 2 weeks. Everybody has a different rule. What I would like us to understand as we go through the Gospels of the church year, as we look through the canons of the church, as we investigate the tradition of the church, this rule of preparation is found nowhere. Potei υπάρχει. It is not written. What comes to us instead is a different rule of preparation. A rule not of particular and specific action, but a rule of life. A rule that is defined, as we have said in the last 3 weeks, by thanksgiving, first of all. Gratitude to God for the gift He has given. By repentance, recognizing that when God comes to us, we are called to set aside our life as it has been and to be changed. By a sober recognition of the grave responsibility that comes to us who have received the gift of God in baptism, in chrismation, in communion when we have received it before. We cannot live as we have lived. We are given a deposit of grace. We are called to make it work, to make it active, to give it space, to grow in our lives. And today, we have another example of what it means to prepare to receive communion, to prepare to encounter the Lord in this Canaanite woman. Now, a Canaanite woman, by this we are given to understand, she has grown up in idolatry. She has grown up in sin. She has grown up worshiping the ancient gods of the Canaanites, Baal, Ashtoreth, for whose worship the children of Israel were punished time and again and lost their birthright when they followed after these gods. She is an outsider. She is a sinner by birth, and we may presume by action, although there are reasons to question the latter. But she comes to Christ knowing that He heals, knowing that there is power in Him. And she asks Him, Lord, my daughter is possessed by a demon. Deliver her. Save her. Make her whole. And the Lord ignores her. He turns His back on her. And she comes again. She persists. She says, please, only you can deliver my child. And He finally looks at her and says, I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel. It's not right to give the bread of the children to the dogs. And then she says, yes, Lord, but even the dogs can lick up the crumbs that fall from the table. Give me something. And then he says, woman, great is your faith. Not in all of Israel have I seen such trust as you have. May it be done to you as you have asked. What is the example that she gives? We don't see anything that looks like faith. She doesn't say, I believe that you are God. She doesn't say, I trust you. I know you can do it. Her faith is a matter of relationship. She understands who she is. And let us be clear, her humility, her self-knowledge is not defined by her being a Canaanite. That is what everyone around would think. She doesn't make a claim to deserve any of this. But she keeps asking. She keeps insisting. She begs. She persists. She insists. She doesn't go away empty. Now, too often, we in our lives as Christians, we hit a roadblock as we consider, how can I become a better Christian? We start to dwell on what we have done, all our guilt, all our shame, all the things that keep us from God, if we even get to that point. These are the accusations that the demons call to mind to prevent us from approaching, to prevent us from asking for mercy. Because we believe a lie. We believe a lie that God's grace is only for those who are worthy. Where did we hear this? Who has preached this? Which father of the church has taught this? I will guarantee you, you will find it nowhere. It is a lie. Nobody is worthy of the gift of God. None of us deserve grace. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So why do we consume ourselves with trying to be worthy? We're missing the point entirely. This woman shows us the way. The way to prepare to encounter God is not to make ourselves good enough. It is to confess and see that we are not good enough. And to come anyway. To beg for mercy. Not demand our due. To ask for grace. Not to claim our birthright, but to ask the Lord for any crumbs that may fall from the table. And we know what happens if we humble ourselves, if we see our place in the universe truly, that we are not worthy, we are not righteous, we are not holy, that we are broken and fallen. And needy creatures. If we confess this truth to ourselves, if we look then from that place of honest, humble truth to the Lord, who loves us, who saves us in our brokenness, then we may speak words of humble, insistent, persistent prayer. then we may ask the Lord to give us mercy and grace. This is how we prepare to encounter God, not by actions which make us worthy, but by tilling the soil of our heart and mind and our life to understand who we are, to be what we are, and in that place to ask the Lord to heal us, to strengthen us, to sustain us, to transform us, to make us whole. This is the Christian life at large. This is how we live week to week. As we have said, in thanksgiving, yes. In repentance, yes. In sober recognition of the grace and gift we have been given and the responsibility to do something with it. But today, we remember above all the Canaanite woman and her example of humility, of lowness, and yet in that humility of insistent, persistent, diligent seeking after the grace of God. If we would have an example of why it is that we should come to receive the sacraments at every possible opportunity, this woman gives it to us. She does not let up until she has received the grace that she seeks. With this mind and heart, let us stand. Let us continue the divine liturgy.